All right, y'all. I got a consultation with an individual. People, this is what I do. Before my clients go to court, what we do is a court rehearsal. And I'm just going to tell y'all today is, in fact, the 23rd of September. This is actually going to be the last consultation that I'm going to file. I'm actually going to start putting my consultation content over on my Patreon. So look for those links below the video. I'm actually just going to get a link tree and just put one thing below the video so we can just minimize all that. And it's just what I'm deciding to do because, like I said, I want to move over to another country. So I have to minimize and start condensing and consolidating my all my information and how to reach me in one place. So without further ado, I got to get at this client. Let me see what we go here. And you guys are going to be here and listen up.
Hello?
Hey, how you doing, man?
All right, you doing all right today?
Awesome, awesome. Thanks for asking. State your city and state for me.
Columbia, South Carolina.
And it is 1:13 p.m. and it is September 23rd. How'd you hear about us?
YouTube.
YouTube. Okay. All right, beautiful. So you got court tomorrow, correct?
Yes, sir.
Right. How many questions you got?
I got a few of them. I just got a few of them. I don't have no whole abundance.
I'm not looking for it. No, I just want to get an idea of where your mind is. That's why I always ask how many questions you got about.
Well, you know what? I'm curious as to where you think my mind should be because I got a train of thought, and I know that just through us talking or whatever the sort.
So did you write any questions down?
Yes. Okay. And now, can you give me a quick second? I'm walking right back to my car. I stepped out for just a second because I was.
No, I got you. Take your time.
I'll be there in a second. Yeah, I'm parked over here, and I'm just walking back through the parking lot.
Yep, take your time, man. Yep, I get it.
All right, I'm back now. Let's see. All right. Okay. Appreciate your patience.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, I am, of course, going tomorrow. The first thing I'm wanting to know is all right. Now, I know that I'm going to be asked specifically about why I haven't paid the child support and the attorney's fees, and I just want to be able to get an acceptable response. What should be my response for that?
So lay it out for me. Give me a just so. Lay it out for me. You're saying that they're gonna say what exactly? What exactly? Like ask me like you're them asking you. I'm you. So ask me like I'm you.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right, Mr. Holback. We're here because opposing counsel has
No. Not opposing counsel. You're actually the counsel. Judge is not going to be asking you questions. They're opposing counsel. So act like you're her attorney asking me, which is I'm playing you.
Okay, so what's going to happen? So he's going to actually ask me?
Correct. Mm-hmm. No, hold on. The judge is going to lay it out. So the judge or whomever is going to say, we're here today because XYZ, you didn't pay, blah, 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 blah. But then opposing counsel is going to ask you questions. So,
Okay.
I mean, if it went any other way, I don't know what you've been listening to, because I tell you, hearing officers are not supposed to be testifying for them, but there's an attorney present. So the attorney is going to be asking you the question. So go ahead.
Okay. All right, Mr. Holback, you were ordered back in January to pay child support amount of $445 plus proper administrative fees, which comes to $467.
Objection. And then the judge is going to say, what's your objection? Your Honor, I filed my financial status back in January. This is what I keep telling you. This is why I don't know why your questions keep going back to what I keep telling you. So you're going to object. The second they start talking about money, objection. My financial status was filed back on January 6th.
Okay.
So, hold on. So I plead the Fifth Amendment to any further questions concerning my financial status. Any continuous questions at this time is harassment. You got to say this stuff to defend yourself. If you want to just let them keep asking you stuff, then it's going to be a long day. You're going to have long days spent in prison. Go ahead.
All right. Well, sir, now what did you file back in court in January? Because we don't have any information.
No. I just said back on January 6th. So, well, hold on. They're not going to ask you that because you went to court and got it yourself. So, hold on. If in fact, okay, let me let that play out. If they say, so when did you file it back in January? That's what you were saying, correct?
Yes, sir.
If you need to go into a recess, you can check court records for yourself. I filed it in January.
Okay. If you need to go into a recess, you can check it for yourself.
Right. You're not there to be their clerk. You're not their clerk. You give stuff to the clerk like they gave stuff to the clerk. You've been invited to court by the clerk to see the judge. Everything goes to the clerk. Everybody feeds the clerk. So you don't sit there and then now you got to come to a court hearing and play clerk. You got to decipher evidence. That's not how it's done. Go ahead.
Right. Okay. All right. So you're saying that you actually did file financial paper?
Objection, Your Honor.
I didn't hear what you said. Say it again.
Objection.
Okay, on grounds of.
So if you're going to say, which they're not going to say. So are you saying? They're not going to say that, because once you say it, that's testimony. See, what you're thinking is you're thinking that they are going to question you based on how you're thinking. You're not thinking like they thinking, but it's okay. I'm glad you're not, because it's just showing me just how far you are off from understanding this in its true perspective. So if you testify to something, they're not going to ask you again.
Right. Okay. All right.
And hold on. No offense to you, but I can tell all of your questions is money based. And I keep telling you, you filed that back on January 6th, I believe it was, right?
Yeah, I filed the response to, or my response to the actual original complaint.
The money, it was January 6th is what I'm saying.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead. I'm you now. I'm you. Right. You're them. I'm you. Go ahead.
Okay. Why is it there on March 19th? You were ordered by the judge to pay attorney fees in the amount of $1,300 and blah blah blah, or failure to provide the information that.
You hold on, no. That's two questions in there. You're saying you was ordered by the judge to fail to pay, and then you start going into something else. So stop. You said according to March XYZ, you was ordered to pay filing fees. That's the question. So don't combine things, because then you know they're not going to call. So you were ordered to pay filing fees. Let's go with that, okay?
Okay.
All right. So ask me again and stop at filing fees. Go.
In the court hearing on March 19th, you were ordered to pay filing fees.
Objection, Your Honor. What's the objection? I want opposing counsel to tell me, where am I getting this money from, because he obviously doesn't understand.
Right. Okay. So, hey, time out. And so basically, whenever it comes to anything dealing with money.
Well, when you object, the judge is going to ask you, what is your objection? You got to state your objection. You can't just say, I'm not answering to that. You got to say, yeah, objection, and then state the reason as to why you're objecting. And you filed this with the court, so why are you constantly? You can't, listen, here's what you don't understand. They can't keep asking you the same old question. They can't do that. That's
right, exactly.
That's now harassing. That's harassment. You can't keep asking the same old question because you're not saying what they want to hear. So they're not going to keep asking you that. I'm telling you, they're not going to do that. But go ahead.
Okay. No, I'm just getting all aspects of it because
I get it. That's why I'm telling you. I'm not saying why you keep saying that. I'm telling you, just, that's how it's going to go. Go ahead.
Okay. Objection.
But number one, two things. This has been going on since January. I don't know why you're writing that down. That should be second nature in your head. Number one. Hold on. Let me finish.
I'm sorry.
Number two. They already know this.
Right.
Once again, what you got to understand is tricking you is not illegal. They're going to try to trick you into saying something that's going to satisfy what they want from you. And remember, I set you up for the end game. And the end game is they want money. That's what they want. They want money. So we filed a motion for your alimony, did we not?
Right. Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Mr. Holback, why is it that you have been uncooperative in turning in your financial declaration, and I have an incomplete financial declaration? It seems as though you have turned something in with not available.
Great question. Let me applaud you. Great question. That's what I'm talking about. So when you say objection, what's incomplete about it? Because you don't know anything about me to know what exists and what doesn't exist. So what's incomplete about it? So if he asked that, which is a great question, once again, you're going to object. And they say, what's your objection? What exactly is missing about it? And you let them get to the specifics. Because they could have in there, we want last week's pay stubs. Well, those don't exist. But maybe 2 years tax returns does. So you don't want to be up in there just allowing them to say painting everything with a broad brush. You did something incomplete. Objection? What's your objection? Your Honor, what exactly is incomplete about it? And let them say this isn't it. Well, that doesn't exist. So I can't give you something that doesn't exist.
Okay, so when he goes, you did not give us any information on how much money you're making now, even if you're not working.
Once again, you already answered that. Of course, as of just January 6th, you can go ahead and then say, Your Honor, I plead the Fifth Amendment to any further testimony. I'm not here to go in circles. This guy is actually playing with my intelligence. I know he's white and I'm black, but this ain't going. This ain't flying. I would literally say that.
Okay. Now you're saying that. All right. Let me ask you this: what happens if he goes to the financial declaration before he asked about the child support and the filing fees.
What do you mean? What happens?
Okay. All right. Let me tell you what I think that you think. Let me tell you what I think that you would say what my response should be. Okay. Okay, Mr. Hornback, you know, even if you have no income, you still have expenses. You didn't fill out anything with your expenses.
Good question.
You didn't fill out any property. You didn't fill out.
Hold on. When I say good question, that's my objection. That's when you don't talk no more. So, if anything, that's what you want to be concerned with. So, once you say be specific, then he's going to say you have expenses, right? That's what you're saying, yes?
Right.
Okay. So then you say, I don't have income. So why do you care? Is this a care? I mean, because I need help. That's why I'm asking your client for my spousal maintenance. So you seem to have all these concerns with me paying your client and yourself. But where's my payment? Because this was my wife and she owes me. That's how it goes. That's how the marriage statute goes. It don't go only men pay alimony. You want your spousal support, spousal maintenance. We put in for that. So whenever they ask you about money, that's what my 23-year-old kid did in whatchamacallit, up in Rochester. He told the judge, come on, judge, do me a solid. I need my alimony. He didn't say, come on, judge, do me a solid. I need to get this chick her alimony. What you got to understand is arrogance is the best remedy to deal with all this. If you go in there just being timid and I'm not here for all that. Why didn't you pay? Objection. You got the status of I'm beginning to think, opposing counsel, you're just going to constantly keep thinking that I have money. I don't. This is why your client should be paying me. That's right. What we filed the federal thing with the courts, that the judge is allowing you forgot what we did. So if your whole perspective and narrative is they're going to keep asking me, what is your perspective on what we're doing? Because we got all the bases covered. We filed it in federal court that this judge did not adhere to none of your requests to get money. You broke.
Hey, time out. Listen, I want to continue the lesson. All right. Tell me how much more time I got with you.
Just keep going. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about time.
Because the reason why I want to say this was I looked up. Apparently, there's a different judge. And I don't know if that's something that they normally do, or if this is something that came about from you filing the complaint. Right. But there's a different judge. Is there a different perspective? I guess what I'm trying.
No. They're all the same. All of them. They all represent the courts. You don't look at this new judge and say, "Oh yeah, that's my friend." No. As I told Judge James Triano, I didn't. You represent the courts. You.
Right. So as I'm doing this now, I'm answering this judge with that she has the same knowledge.
Correct.
Correct. She knows.
Correct.
And she's actually going to hold the same perspective.
Correct.
As the old judge.
They're all the same.
Okay. All right. Gotcha. Now, does she know that there's been complaints filed?
I'm assuming so. We don't care about that. I don't know why you're asking that. We don't care. We just gonna keep firing off and helping them understand. Gotcha. Every time they ask you about money, your perspective should be you have my situation on my stance on money. This is why I'm not understanding why your client is not giving me my spousal support that I requested.
All right. Now, let me ask you this. Is there anything directed at the judge? I know that this is opposing counsel questioning me. He's going to put me on the stand. He's going to ask me questions. But is there anything, because the judge was the reason as to why I don't have the spousal support. So is there anything aimed at the judge as opposed to, because I know that since he's going to ask me questions, I got to answer back at him. But the fact that I don't have the spousal support is coming from the judge.
Correct. So
Okay.
now that's a great perspective. So what you're going to say is not to that judge so much as you're going to say, I motioned this court that I needed my spousal support, as opposed to saying, Your Honor, you didn't give me my spousal support. Don't say that. If it's a different judge, act accordingly. Listen, it ain't bully shit all the time. Sometimes you just got to tone down a demeanor and just help them understand what's not happening is you're not routing my asshole. It's not happening.
Right.
Sorry. What you want ain't happening. So
Right.
you're going to simply say, excuse me, by it being a different judge, this is why I motioned the court for your client to give me spousal support. Where's my spousal support? Now, I want to be clear. You're going to be able to cross-examine.
Okay.
So, what are you going to say on your cross-examine? Go.
How do you refer to the attorney? Did you say opposing counsel?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, I would. You say, counsel. My question to you, counsel, is where's my money? Where's my money?
That's what I was about to say. Okay, counsel.
Yeah, I'll just say counsel. My question to you is, counsel, where's my money?
Right. My question is, you have been my ex-wife's, your client, attorney from the initial hearing.
No, I'm not going through all that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Your statement's got to be short and sharp. You don't sit there and go through all that. No, don't do that. Just say,
Okay.
My question to you as counsel is, where's my money? I was married to your spouse. Where's my money? Your client. Where's my money?
All right. Do I cross-examine? Okay. The way this works, do I cross-examine after he finishes asking all his questions?
They're gonna allow you to cross-examine. They're gonna ask you, do you have any questions? You're gonna cross-examine. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So then when I get to asking him, all right, my question to you, counsel, is where's my spousal support?
Okay, right. Now, let me just tell you, you're gonna say that. However, the courts didn't grant you it. So I'm telling you that because you're just gonna ask these questions to flex. You're only asking this question to let them know, no, you're gonna be paying me. This is how this goes. And you're only saying these things because you know. So if anything, you want your back spousal support. Matter of fact, you go into court tomorrow, which is Wednesday. Thursday, we'll file a motion that you want your back spousal support, okay?
Okay. Let me ask you this now. Since you brought that up, because I want to come back to this. But since you brought that up.
I'm listening.
This is a different date or whatever sort. What is the possibility? What do I do if I end up in jail tomorrow?
Why would you end up in jail?
I don't think that I'm going to end up in jail. But what I'm saying
Brother,
is,
I don't listen. What you do, I don't do. I don't do worst case scenarios and this and all that. I don't do that. I'm not even thinking that. If there's something you're not telling me, you need to tell me. But I don't have a perspective and narrative on what you want me to say. Hold your asshole, put a cork in your ass. I don't know what it is that you want me to say. Why would you end up in court tomorrow? That's what I have to get you to stop thinking that. So why would you think you'll end up in court tomorrow is my question.
Because I ended up in jail on the 19th and I didn't expect to. So I guess what I'm trying to say is there a route? Because I don't have anybody to come get me out. And I don't know
my question to you is, the answer to my question is because you was in there on the 19th. Okay, let me ask you a question. Why was you in there before on the 19th?
Because I pled the fifth and the judge got mad because I wouldn't answer the question.
Well, I think there's a lot more to it than that. What was the hearing based on?
What was the hearing based on?
Right. What was the hearing based on?
The hearing was because I did not give the information.
Okay, so hold on. That's why you feel you should think you're going to end up in jail. But we already went over this, man. I said give it to them. Don't ever not give it to them. Just don't give it to them filled out what they want.
Right.
Hold on. We gave it to them though, right? They have it?
we gave them the information, but I did not give, because the reason why was she was asking for my telephone number and my social security number. We weren't going to give that.
Well, we never mentioned that because no one ever asked for a social security number. What you're saying now, like we went over that. I've never went over don't give your social security number because I never had somebody ask that. We might have mentioned it after the fact, but nonetheless, they have all that information. If anything, the judge was asking you all that information just to try and control you, get you to talk. You should have just said, I plead the Fifth Amendment to any further testimony, not to the question. I plead the Fifth to any further testimony. They could do what they want as far as that, but it was something else going on in there. What was the hearing based on? Go.
The hearing was based on the opposing counsel actually specifically requested the address, because you actually sent the address to the court, and we sent the address. I gave the opposing counsel the address, I guess, before court, but then when we got there, the judge was like, okay, then fine.
Okay. I've never, listen, all the stuff that you're talking about, man, I just never heard of somebody going to court because they pled the Fifth. So, what they was asking for specific information, you gave them the specific information. The things that they're asking for is not available. So we can just move on from that. We're going in circles about your fears and everything. I don't know why you got fears. We gave them, I told you a month and a half ago, no, give them what they want. You sent the thing to Lydia. Give them this. She said, yeah, like I told you. Give them what they want. You know, I just did a video today. And my video that I did today was the documents that you fill out in court. They're going to ask you for those documents because they want to try and direct how you should testify. This is why you should always do things via motion. So what else you got?
All right. Hold on. I got it right here. I got to look at the form. All right. When will you be able to pay child support?
Bro, I can't believe you going back there. Objection. My financial information has already been filed with the courts.
Yes.
You're grasping for straws now, man.
No, I'm not. That's it. That's all I got is for the child support and for the financial declaration and but I know that they're going to ask, because opposing counsel is going to ask, especially for his fees. When will you be able to? You said that you don't have any money, and you said that you don't have the ability to pay. So when?
Hold on. I didn't say you don't have any money. If I said that, that's a secondary to the primary. Your information, your financial information was filed with the courts already.
Right. That's what I would say, is I don't have any money. So wait a minute. So you're saying that I shouldn't say that I don't have any money?
I didn't say that. I said that's secondary. The primary was you filed your financial statements in court on January the 6th.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Time out. The only thing I filed in court on January 6th.
My man. You're reading in depth into it. We filed your financial situation and your work status in court already. So there's no wait a minute. That was January. This is September. Now you're saying wait a minute, like you don't get it?
No,
man,
what I'm saying,
go ahead.
No, what I'm saying is that when it comes to, because I don't know how technical they're going to be, because I'm going to stand on the fact that I filed my response to the
just go ahead, man. I get it. Just go ahead. What you're thinking? I know. Go ahead. That's
what I'm saying. I'm going to stand on the fact that I responded to the complaint. And that is all that I need to file. I don't need to file no financial declaration. I don't need to do this, that, and whatever. You know, I don't have no money. I'm being seen by my doctor. Filed in court my financial information.
Correct. You don't need to go down a laundry list of this and that, this and all that. They're asking you for something that you already filed. So I don't really don't think they're gonna be asking you all that, but I get where your mind is. So,
Yeah.
all
I
right.
just don't know. I know that the lawyer's gonna go in there and try to be slick. And this is stupid to be even coming back here because I've already said over and over again, we've already filed. You know, you filed for me a whole bunch of stuff. And what gets me is that they're ignoring it. So I'm trying to figure out what
They're not gonna ignore it no more. That's bro, we covered that. This is why we did the federal file the stuff with federal. So we covered all this stuff already. You keep trying to you're like going over the same stuff and trying to introduce it a new way. I don't know why you don't the other day you was like, yeah, blah 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 blah. I'm like, yo, last time we spoke, you going to court on the 24th. We got you covered. What?
So you don't think they're going to try to introduce it a different way? You don't think?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I told you that it's harassment.
Okay.
You gotta understand the narrative of how everything works. You don't take in no consideration the traction that you're getting. Your whole thing is like this started with you yesterday. Like you just met me yesterday. Like you don't take heed to none of the stuff that I tell you or the successes that you're getting. The fact that you're filing stuff in court. The fact that you file a motion, you're on top of stuff. You gotta start understanding that, and the sooner you do, the more relaxed you'll be and start believing in how you're fighting this whole thing back.
Okay, all right. So then tell me what. Okay, the lawyer asked me questions. I cross-examined him. What kind of? Okay, listen. What questions would you cross-examine him with? Where's my spousal support? I got that.
That's it. I don't care about nothing else.
All right.
Don't care about nothing else. Two things I'm saying. Counsel, you need to check all motions filed because you keep asking me the same thing over and over again. That's harassment. In addition to that, I want my spousal support. And I'm pleading the Fifth Amendment to any further questioning. It's nothing to talk about. Why do you feel the need to talk? It's nothing to talk about.
All right. Tell me that again. You need to check all the motions filed.
I said it before. You file everything that they want. We filed it with the courts, and I keep asking you. That's harassment. I told you that. You got to write that down. That should be baked in your head.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm writing it down. All right, what's the response to, what is the court's response to you're harassing me?
I don't know what their response is going to be. I can't answer that.
Okay. All right.
Listen, but hold on. You're saying all that to help them understand you know what they're doing. You got to understand some things, as I said earlier, that's a primary, not a secondary. I said the secondary is I want my money, blah, 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 blah. But the primary is you signed everything. There's sometimes you make a statement and the statement have a second, third, and primary message within one message. So right now, your perspective and narrative is you're going to say things to help them understand there's no other way around this. I want my money. I'm getting my money. So when you say, I want my money, this and all that, I told you already, the judge didn't award it to you yet. So they don't owe you a damn thing. But it's okay. Like I told you, we're going to file something. You go to court tomorrow, Wednesday, we're going to file something on Thursday. However, right now, you're just throwing stuff out there with a cocky arrogance like, hey, listen, I want my money. You're going to help her understand. You should have worked out with me. I want my money. You should go in there with the perspective and narrative of, I want my money. I want my money. I'm the less money spouse. I want my money. I want my money. Give her whatever she want. Take it out my child support, whatever you think I owe you, but I want my money.
Money. Right. Okay. Let me ask you this. Since because that's perfect. That's perfect. All right. What comes after that?
I don't know. Let's deal with what you got going on tomorrow. We ain't looking in the future. Let's deal with what you got going on tomorrow.
Okay. I just figured I'd ask because I know that after the asking of the questions or whatever, the judge will do whatever of the sort. And I didn't know what was going on.
Once again, your statements, when you respond, it should be short, quick statements, one sentences at the most. That's it.
Okay. All right. What you tell me what question that you think that
you just asked me that.
No, I'm saying, what do you think that he's going to ask that I didn't ask yet? What do you think?
I don't think he's going to ask you some of the stuff you think he's going to ask you. I think when you stand, hold on. When you stand firm on what's really going on, because your whole perspective is heavily on the narrative of the typical a person getting a divorce. And the more you believe their narratives, and I can tell by the questions you think they're going to ask you, the more you think that. You can go ahead and think that they don't see the writing on the wall. When you file the motion, you don't believe that they said, oh, shit. You don't believe that. Your whole believe this and that. So you got to go in there and sell them your perspective and narrative. So you don't go in there saying, what are they. You go in there and say, showtime. Right now I'm in the store. And what you're going to do is buy the fact you owe me money.
Right.
You owe me. But it's okay. I messed up. I'll file a thing to get my back spousal support. I up. You're right. You got that, counsel. All right. Just hang out by here Thursday, Friday. You'll have it. That's what you help them understand. Simple, man. Anything else? Anything else, man? I got to go pee on my I got to go soak my toes. Anything else?
Yeah. I want to know what you think that he's going to ask.
I just told you. He's not going to ask nothing.
You don't think he's going to pull me in there and ask any questions?
No. Hold on. I do if you don't execute what we're talking about. You think every time he asks you about money and you say, well, hold on, I filed that on the 6th, so where's my money? You think he's going to still try to walk down the road of money?
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you, brother. That's why I ain't got nothing to tell you. I don't know what to tell you.
Okay.
I'm going to be honest with you. I ain't never had a client that think like that.
No, well, I
never had a client to think like that, bro.
And I know that you're right, and I know that you got the experience over me. I'm here again, is what it is.
My man, like, you had me on and off retainer now for 10 months, and I don't understand why you still thinking like this, man.
Well, because of the fact that he's still dragging me back in the court. I'm like, what is it that you don't understand?
You're not. That's your job to help him understand. If you want to fall back and not say nothing and not be arrogant when you go to court like everybody else did, it's why you keep going through this. If you want to, you disappear for a minute or whatever, this and that, and then pop back up and this and that, brother, that's you. I don't have that problem with nobody else.
Hey, listen, let me ask you this. What does this date here have to do with the child support?
I don't know, man. You're going to court because of this one thing, not child support. So
no. Well, now you know what? Okay, say that one more time for me, because I was under the impression that I was going to court for not paying the child support, not paying the attorney's fees, and not turning in the financial declaration and the past 3 years tax returns.
So we've been talking now for 40 minutes. Now you mentioning child support after 40 minutes. You never said nothing about child support before.
Child support was the first question I asked about.
Gotcha. You're asking me now about ask me the question again. Go ahead.
Okay. I asked you, what am I going to court for? Because I was under the impression that I was going to court for not paying the child support, not paying attorney's fees, not turning in the financial declaration, and not turning in the past 3 years tax returns. That's what was filed as the complaint.
Okay. So how is it that you're saying that you filed information? How explain to me then how, if that's where you're at, explain to me how I filed all this information on January 6th and I don't have the ability to work. Explain to me how that don't apply. How doesn't that apply to what you just said? How does that not apply?
I believe it applies.
So why are you still there? After 40 minutes, why are you still there?
I ain't talking about me. I'm talking about what's court.
Hold on. Yeah, you are talking about you. Because listen, trying to be, the slick stuff and all that don't work on me. I have a very good memory. So what you just said is, I thought I was going for that. So I said, okay, you didn't mention child support. You said I mentioned it when I first said it. Cool. I'll let you get that. Then I said, well, explain to me what you're going to court for. You said child support, not turning in financial declarations, not paying attorney's fees, and one or two other things. I said, okay, I listened. My response to that was, I filed this on the 6th and I don't have money. How does that not apply? And you're saying, it's not about me. Is that what you're saying now?
No. What I'm saying is that I believe what you're saying. I'm just talking about what I believe that the judge and the attorney, well, not even the attorney, because the attorney don't count, the way that the judge is going to rule on this.
Is how? How is the judge going to rule on this? Again, hold on. Hold on. You submitted everything that you needed to do.
Right.
You're not. I don't know one person that did this and ended up behind bars. So why are you? What makes you so special, bro?
Nothing. I guess what I'm trying to ask is this.
Yeah. Hold on. I'm gonna tell you what you're doing. You want constant reinsurance, bro. I don't do that. I don't coddle. You keep asking me the same thing over and over and over again in a different way.
No, I just can't understand what the fuck the child support got to do with this. Like he's just pulling.
What do you now? You're saying you don't know what child support got to do with this when you said you was going there for child support. This is what I'm saying. You said I was going for child support.
That's what I'm saying.
Everything revolves around money. We got that covered. We file things. We keep filing things concerning money. And your brain is stuck on money. Then when you got off of that and said, well, I didn't submit the declarations, and that's why. Then you got off of that. Now you back on child support. That's what you're doing.
All the bases have to be covered. Because
so after 9 months, you saying that the bases are not covered, or you don't understand still after 9 months? Because I don't understand why you're saying the bases got to be covered.
Nope, the bases are covered. I just didn't know what the mechanism was behind it.
So you didn't know the mechanism?
If the attorney says you owe me attorney's fees,
we covered that though. We covered that. We filed everything with the motion. Do you look at the motions that we filed for you? How are you still there?
I'm just using that as an example.
No, you're not, because that's exactly what you're doing. It ain't just an example, bro. This is where your mind is. That's why I said, do you not read the motions that we draft up for you?
Okay. I got it. Yeah. I see the motion. I see the answers. I'm just like, I don't even know how this is even, how he can even bring it.
Well, it's okay. It's all gonna go down. You got any more questions? It's all gonna go down tomorrow. We preparing you, so we'll deal with it. Like I said, Thursday we'll do the motion and help them understand some more. Okay.
Okay. Anything else?
No, I have nothing else. I got nothing else.
Okay.
Just text us consultation. Just text us, consultation. We'll get you in tomorrow.
All right. Nothing you think I should ask? Nothing you
Nope.
think he's gonna?
Nope.
All right. Sounds good.
Okay, my man.
All right. Thank you, man.
Absolutely fucking amazing. That's all I got to say. It's amazing. It's amazing how individuals just don't get it. It's amazing how individuals, once again, that dude is in his 40s. He's the only one I have like that. 732-875-9111. Appreciate support to the channel. Everything, you guys be safe.